Guys, it's time. It's time. It's finally time. I don't think I'm ready for this, and I don't think you are either, but it's time. Ooh, it's time. It is time. Ooh, yes. It is time. Daiki, it's time. It's time.
It's time?
It's time.
What time?
It's time.
It's time, okay.
Ooh, it's time. Man, I just, so many things. Nostalgia, oh my God. Ah! Definitely need to put a natty on this. Oh man. I think I just need a moment. Let's send it. How does this thing start up like that so easy? Oh, we got a delivery guy. All right, 33.4 is back, everybody. I don't think anyone else is more as excited as I am about this. But today, we might be pulling an engine. We'll find out in a little bit. We're getting to the bottom of this. I'm sick of this thing not being on the road. We're sorting this thing out, and it's gonna be back on the road really, really soon. I hope you guys are excited. We're bringing back the OG car. This is the thing that started everything for me. This is the very first car that I learnt to drift in, really. First time I ever did anything with Okachan. First time I did any kind of like exploring around Japan, making any kind of content. This is the OG car. This car, I won my very first drifting competition in, rocked up, got first place right off the bat. And it was also the last time that Tsuchiya, the Drift King, had his own drifting competition, and he was the one who handed me the trophy. It was a super special car, a lot of sentimental value, and it started everything for me here in Japan. It feels so weird to just be looking at everything under this car. And just like, it's like a whole nostalgia right now for me. Like everything under here I can look at, and I can remember working on this thing and doing that in my driveway in the blistering heat of summer, dodgy wiring for these LED lights. Just like tons and tons of just stuff and time and effort put into this thing in my driveway. They're so crazy. So much going on here, and I cannot wait to refresh this thing. For the most part, like everything in this car is pretty good. There's like no rust, a little bit of damage to my pillars and stuff from just unfortunate incidences with jack stands and jacks at my house in the driveway. But you know what? She'll be all right, and we could probably pull that out with a sliding hammer, to be honest, but I mean, it doesn't matter. she's still awesome. I'm so excited to bring this thing back.
It's been so long since I've sat in this car, and it's smelling a little interesting, but I'm glad I grabbed myself a couple Dafsky air fresheners and we're gonna make this thing smell good. Dafsky is today's video sponsor. They've been a massive supporter of the channel since the get-go, back when we were working on this car in the driveway, so it only feels right to be putting one of the air fresheners in the 33.4. I'm going with the Shiba Inu today. A little bit of a stretch for the Broadway mirror, but she's there, and now the whole car smells like bubblegum. Dafsky has a huge range on their website, so I know you'll be able to find something that suits your style and whatever scent you want for your car. And they're also about to restock soon the Cherry Blossom collab air freshener tin cans that we collabed on. So make sure you guys check those out. So head to their website now, dafsky.com, and don't forget to use coupon code SAMMIT for 10% off store-wide. And now let's get back to the 33.4.
And if you guys remember, the plate 332 was actually a very popular plate. The people at Meiku were telling us that 33 two-door is what the 2 stands for. I always thought it was like Series 2 because this is a Series 2 33, but I always thought it was a shame that it could have been 33.4. But it was just really cool. Also, the very first 34 ever made had the plate 33.2 on it as well, so it was kind of a little bit of a mind blow. But it's time. We got to pull all of this apart. And everything's just kind of slapped and sitting on here, so it's not like all bolted in. I should be able to just kind of pull stuff out like that easy. Just the piping, because we were messing around with that with the Bogan 32, seeing if anything would fit from there. But we're gonna pull everything off this. Where we last left off is we think the ringlands or the valve stem seals are broken, and that's why this thing's burning so much oil and all the issues that we've been having. So what we're gonna do is pull all the coil packs and the plugs out, we're gonna compression check it again, and we're gonna do a leak down test, confirm that whether yes or no, and then we're gonna pull the engine and we're gonna refresh it. Is this your first time working on Skylines, Daiki?
Oh yes, my first RV25.
Your first RV25?
Yes.
Yeah. So up until before, up until you worked with me, have you ever worked on RVs before? Because you worked on the Bogan 32, so that's an RV. Have you never before RVs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just only SR.
All right, in a few months you're gonna learn about the mighty RV, God's holy engine. Sorry, you didn't hear that. SR didn't hear that. Daiki got all the plugs out of that 25. This thing is sat for a very long time, so they're all pretty gross. I imagine from just me starting it before and whatnot, it's pretty old fuel now. I don't think I've driven this thing for like 2 years, so it's pretty nasty. Got everything out here that generally makes grown men cry, but I'm kind of prepared for it today, so we're gonna get to the bottom of this right now. I'm gonna pass the camera to Daiki. We're gonna compression check, leak down check, and I'll give you any results that we get. All right, Daiki, you're up. Okay, that's healthy, 150. That's a good number. Let's hope they all stay there. All right, this RB wants to live. Everything was 165. I went back and rechecked 1 and 2 and they were 165 as well. I think at first maybe there's still like a bit of carbon or something stuck on the valves or whatever, just because it sat for so long in that first start. But yeah, I went through and double checked every single one twice. 165 across the board, super even. Bear in mind, I think there could be a little bit of oil in the cylinders from most likely valve stem seals leaking. So if the compression tester is coming up good, that means that we probably don't have a broken ringland or a ring issue. So that's pretty exciting. But if there is a lot of oil in there, that's another thing that could be hiding the fact that there may be a crack or something like that going on with the piston rings and ringlands, depending on how big it is. Usually like if it's just like a small issue, some oil can kind of like compensate for that. But I don't know, we'll see. Well, we just did a leak down test on every single cylinder. We're looking pretty good. They're all at about 30%, still in the green zone. Not really anything to worry that much about. I'm just trying to think in my head if this would actually test if valve stem seals are leaking, because that's probably the next thing that this could be, which I'd still rather remove the engine on and do a head gasket and refresh it and everything. So I'd rather drop the engine and do all that than have to, deal with it all inside the car. I just think that's a much better idea. But yeah, I think we're pretty solid. Obviously when we get the head off, we'll be able to inspect things more. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking like this isn't gonna be too crazy. It looks like we'll be able to just kind of drop this motor, pull the head out. We'll do a light little refresh. I'll do new valve stem seals. I'll do just a little light grind or something like that, or maybe I'll just do it myself with the little hand tool and a bit of paste, and we'll kind of clean up all the valve mating points, and we'll just kind of slap it all back together, but with a different turbo. And then I think we should be good, but this is actually really exciting. So I think we're going to move on to the next step, which is pull the engine.
It's coming.
You okay? Did it go in your face?
Yeah.
Bro, did you have your mouth open?
No.
Good. We've been making some good progress on pulling the motor and the trans, but I've hit a personal roadblock. We're trying to get these bolts out for the drive shaft, and all my tools, pretty much I just have like normal spanners, right? I don't have the long double-ended ones, and I'm done with that. So I'm just like, we're gonna stop working on this, and I'm gonna go to Astro, and I'm gonna buy those long ass wrenches so that we can actually do that stuff without having to link spanners or anything like that. I don't know why it's taking me this long, but Daiki, we're gonna get the right tool for the job.
Yep.
Okay? Let's go to Astro.
Yes.
What do you think about this car?
This car, it's なんだろう
What does that mean?
It's good, but なんだろう It's fun, right?
Putting Daiki on the spot is the best. Before I go to Astro, I wanted to check this thing out. This is called a Black Thunder Frappe. Definitely need to try that out. Black Thunder is pretty much just like this really good chocolate bar in Japan. I don't know what else to compare it to, but it's amazing. And they have this frappe kit. So this will be our little secret though. We won't tell May I'm having this before dinner because she's making fire bolognese tonight. I couldn't resist a Fami chicken. One doesn't come here without having one of those. So you open this thing up. Well, what you do is you put it in the coffee machine. Just like that. And then you push the Frappuccino button. And it should do its thing. It's adding water, milk. And then I think you're meant to mix it with a spoon and it's like perfect. So after mixing it up a bunch with the huge straw they give you, it's actually pretty good. If you're in Japan and you haven't had a Black Thunder yet, just get the little candy, like the little chocolate bar. It looks like this. This is like the kanji and stuff that you need to look for. It's amazing. And then get this as well if you can from a Family Mart. It's pretty good. I'll highly recommend mix it up thoroughly, very thoroughly, because the machine just, it's not enough to like soften it all, especially if the freezer's turned up a whole bunch. But yeah, squeezing it all around and mixing it all up really helped. This is what we came here for, lads. Music to my ears. All right, I'm gonna grab one of each, and then I'm gonna probably grab another one of these so I can get my toolbox in order. I really wish like there were companies in Japan that just didn't charge outrageous prices. A good example is I know Snap-on is usually like, you know, considered pretty expensive, maybe even outrageous. But in Japan, it's pretty much 2 to 3 times more expensive than what it is in the US. Snap-on USA is like so much cheaper than here in Japan. It's literally like just murder here. Back at the shop, and as per usual, whenever you go to the tool shop, you end up spending more than expected. I ended up getting a couple more of these trays. Look, this is not how I would like my toolbox to be. One day I'd love to just buy like, you know, one of those crazy huge $50,000 to like $80,000 full tool kits or something from Snap-on or some other tool company that has good quality stuff, where it just comes fully like seated into like the foam and stuff. But for now, this is what we've got, and this is pretty much everything I've collected over the years in a Costco Kirkland toolbox. And it's not the best in the world, but it does the job. But yeah, we got a bunch of these long boys now, so I can actually get that drive shaft off, and I've actually got these a little bit more better organized in here, which I'm happy about. I also got a couple more of those little cart trolleys that we use, like this one here, and we'll get those set up tomorrow. But for now, I want to get working on pulling this motor. got the transmission out. It was pretty fun doing by myself. And looking here, you can see there's a ton of clutch like dust and stuff like that. You can actually see all the shimmering there from all the copper. Turns out we do have a Nismo copper mix in this car, which is awesome. I've never had this transmission off, so it feels good to know that this did somehow, like, I mean, there's no other reason why the clutch survived, to be honest. This thing copped a bunch of abuse. Typical RB things, there's water leaking there, and that was me removing the water line there and just leaving that bracket there because I couldn't get to it no matter how much I tried, so I just left it there. RB things when you're doing a turbo swap. But yeah, everything looks really good. The clutch is in actually really good shape. Transmission looks like it's in really good shape. Just a lot of clutch disc dust and stuff, which may have also been from another, like the previous clutch maybe, but I don't know, because it looks like it's got a pretty fresh flywheel and disc on there. It's an unsprung Nismo copper mix disc, and it's got the non-billet housing on there, so it is still the stronger like pressure plate, but it just doesn't have that nice pretty red billet pressure plate, which is kind of sad because that would make that thing look so much nicer. But anyways, I don't think we will be reusing that clutch with this car because it's going to be making more power than that thing can definitely handle when we're done with it. But yeah, trainee's out. It's kind of fun. So that's where we're leaving the 33.4 today. I think I made really good progress, and tomorrow we should be able, in the next video, to get this motor out, take the head off, and start inspecting and looking at those valve stem seals and seeing what other kind of work this motor needs. I'm really hopeful that we're going to be able to pretty much just refresh this and put it back in, make about 500 horsepower and keep it there so that this thing is still driving on the street registered and we can still enjoy it before, you know, we obviously go crazy and build some stupid high horsepower engine. But this is also the SAMMIT YouTube channel, and we have a habit of always going a little bit crazy. But I'm trying to prevent myself from doing that this time. I know we just uploaded a video saying that I'm out of control and we need to stop doing this about the Bogan 32, but I mean it with this one. Unless something crazy happens and it all just like all the stars line up and we're able to just do a quick swap with like, you know, a bigger capacity engine or something, well then we'll do it. But my goal is to just refresh this one, and hopefully tomorrow we'll find out if that's even possible. Every man loves his wife's or mum's bolognese, and May also made the tomato with cheese stuff. I'm excited. I cannot wait to eat this. Don't judge the presentation though, because I just threw everything on the plate, so don't give her any slack for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm super excited about bringing back the 33.4, the OG Skyline, the thing that has so much sentimental value for me, and I'm sure you guys are too. It's been a long time coming. And while I'm not 100% certain on the direction of the engine until we pull it out, pull the head off and have a look at what's going on, we've got a solution lined up no matter what. So hope you guys are all excited, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.